Ryder,
I have the best
I keep on falling off. I don't
around the world.
leave me alone.
Well, the people who are... You have everybody?
Alright,
Yeah, we have
also
everyone.
mention how
We are
long your
missing
term will last.
slightly small.
4 years brought here will be the greatest 4 years that we've ever had in this world.
Oh,
I was like,
I can't believe I'm making this video right now. This is our civilization. When I began this server, I didn't want anything to do with political shenanigans as well as anything government-wise. I thought that the idea of governments and presidents and everything, it sounded like the worst idea and the stupidest idea for a Minecraft server. However, though, I was persuaded into the idea by people like Bo, Tristan, and Carson. I gave them the benefit of the doubt and I let them go with that idea. And so, from that point on, government was now an official part of the server.
But real quick, I want to just have a word about our sponsor, Raid Shadowleg. Come on, get in there.
Well, I don't know what that was about. I don't know about that guy, but... Anyways, back to where we were. Before I started the whole video off, I need to explain how the rules work. You see, when we first started government on our server, every term, or like however long a president, was only 100 in-game days. Until we turned the server into a realm, to which we increased it to 400 days, since the days went by faster, and it does closely resemble real-life terms of 4 years. So technically, that would mean every 100 days was a year on the server. Kinda weird, isn't it? At some point, too, we also decided to have debates instead of just voting for who we trusted the most. Everyone would get in little stands and give a spiel about what they want to do for the server and what is the most meaningful thing to do during that time period while we ask questions. But when we established the whole government thing, me and Bo had the idea to make a book that stated what we could or couldn't do, or what we know in real life as the Bill of Rights. It mentions certain standards like no griefing, no stealing, no cheating, and more basic standards for the server to ensure that no one does anything bad to it. But before I start going through these elections, I'm going to rank every single president on what they did in their term and how much it benefited the server. And for any of my friends watching this that were presidents, don't take this too seriously. This is just my honest opinion on what was done during that time. Thanks. For the sake of everyone's retention, nothing happened for the first couple presidencies until I started streaming the server. Before the server, it went back and forth from me to Bo, and it happened again until this happened on day 630. On day 630, I got voted to be the president of the server, but Ryder gave me the idea to drop out since it wouldn't have been fair to everyone there. And I thought for a minute, and I came to the revelation that, well, I was the owner. I had superiority over everyone already, so why would I need to be president as well? That's when I decided to drop out and give the title to my vice. His name will go by Colton. During his presidency, not a whole lot actually happened, but this was indeed the first presidency that actually counted. It's more of the fact that at the time, we didn't do speeches or asking like what they would do as well as inaugural addresses. So it's very hard to tell without having to dig through hours of footage. I will say, however, I believe that he actually did do stuff, but it was too far back to remember off the top of my head. And if you guys want to see if he did anything, go check out my VOD channel where I have all my uncut streams over everything we did. But my final ranking overall is undetermined since we don't really know too much since it was over like 2 to 3 months ago. Now for day 700, Colton did end up winning again, but it was still kind of the same process. I'm still going to keep the ranking and everything. I can't really say much since it still was a long time ago to find all the stuff he did. The most I can remember is they were working on the presidential building, and that's really it. Next up on the list, we have Bo. The main thing he really focused on was just Project Greenery and making Spawn look as pristine and presentable to anyone watching or joining on the server for the first time. Other than that, I can't really say much since we only had 100-day turns, which wasn't a lot of time to get stuff done. There's not much else I can really say, so I'll just give my final ranking of B tier. He did do a lot, but it also didn't feel like enough for the 100 days he had. It was understandable though, considering he did have a job during this time, so he was really focused on that as well as sports. But even still then, it could have been a lot better. Now on to hands down, the greatest, the most amazing, the best president this server has ever seen. This man right here was the reason the server turned out the way it was for the next 1,000 in-game days. No, that does not mean he was president for 1,000 days, but with everything he did, it really changed the server. I mean, this man did a million things in just a short 100 days before we even made the server a realm. I mean, he did things like moving the creeper farm out of spawn, removing the raid farm, working on the presidential office, working a little bit more on Project Greenery, upgrading and modifying the paths to make it more traversable. He made the server more coherent to look at. He removed unnecessary structures, added legislation, ratified states, and so much more stuff that will make this a list that's longer than the entire damn Constitution. It almost felt unhealthy that Ryder spent every waking moment trying to improve the server as a whole. We thought this man was insane for how much he did during this time. And my final ranking for this is an automatic S+ tier. Nothing can change my mind. For day 1,000, Colton ended up winning for a third time. And he did much more this time around, but it made me start to think that it was all for power. You see, when Colton was president, he was only occasionally on, and when he was on the server, he just told people to do stuff then watched most of the time. One of the worst parts, in my opinion, was how much he was overworking me specifically. I mean, during his presidency, I was really starting to get into the mega base, and I was building it to take a small break from working around the server and doing my own thing, unlike everybody else. But as always, because I had the most gear and the most resources and just the top person of the server, he pushed me into doing stuff that, quite frankly, I didn't want to work on. He could have easily asked people like Braden or Bo, who had the same stuff I did at the time, or even people like AJ and Ryder, who weren't really working on anything during that time. Then we had like a 30-minute argument or so about how I was being selfish and I wasn't trying to help around with anything. This annoyed me a bit, but conflicts aside, Colton still got a lot done during this time. He upgraded the gold farm, built an iron farm, built a wither skeleton farm, permanently made states a thing, and a little bit more than my goldfish brain can remember. And also during this time, my beloved Ryder Simon decided to go into cryostasis for some time to work on his stupid videos, to which he would return in time for the next presidential election of the server. My final ranking for Colton's presidency is A-. He did do a lot of stuff, but it also felt very ruling. But that's all I really gotta say about this presidency. Next up on the list is Braden's first term, shockingly. Now, for his term, he didn't do as much as we thought in the 400 days he was president after the server became a realm. He worked on the trading hall most of the time, built an automatic crop farm, and made an attempt to help others around the server before he got burnt out and started playing Grounded again. There wasn't really much to be said, so I'm just going to give my final ranking C+ tier. Maybe if he spent the entire presidency helping around, then it would have been a little bit higher, but the burnout for him is it's insane. And for a final presidency that happened before the server died abruptly, he returns. The man, the myth, the legend, Ryder Jaquavius Simon, in the flesh. Now, because Ryder's presidency lasted till the end of the server, which ended abruptly, there was a lot less work done than his last presidency. However, during most of the time, he just wanted to help me get the mega base finished after the 1,000 days of nobody wanting to help. Anyways, everyone at this time was getting bored of the server, and the server had felt complete after we finished the mega base. From that point on, Ryder didn't know what to do since the server started to feel empty. The only rating I can give this presidency is a burnout plus tier. It's genuinely crazy how much some of these presidencies actually helped the server and how others felt like filler pages in a comic book. Again, to any of my pals watching this, if they actually do, Don't take any of this to offense. This is just the honest truth. Now feedback time. For Colton's first and second presidency, I can't really give feedback because at the time there was nothing to do on the server since he had joined for like 50 days prior to this election. He barely had iron armor too, so I'm gonna give him a bit of leeway and the benefit of the doubt. For Bo's presidency, there could have been a bit more for him to do, but he set his mind on one thing and probably the most important thing at the time. And that's really all I gotta say. For Ryder's presidency, there is absolutely nothing to talk about. He did more than all of us and everything we did in our entire lives on the server. This man was a fucking beast, dude. For Colton's third presidency, he should have looked more at the fact that I just didn't want to do certain things, and that there were like 6 other people on the server he could have asked for help, or to build stuff instead of me only doing the hard work. Aside from that, he did good deeds and built farms that really helped with the server's growth. For Braden's presidency, there was so much more room for possibilities, and it felt unnecessary to slack off the last 250 days of his presidency, just because he finished his goals and tasks for his presidency. However, he still got us better villagers, so I can give him some credit for that. And finally, for Ryder's last presidency, I respect you for deciding to finally help me end my suffering and for helping the server end on such a good and peaceful note. Thank you, Ryder, for everything. And that's it. All the presidents we've had on the server, from basically the first day to now. I still just can't believe I'm making this video. This shouldn't have ever been a thing, and my god, it would never be a thing in any future servers that we do. Thank you all so much for watching the second part of the movie, and yes, I know I'm in a bit of a different environment right now, but it's where I need to be for especially recording videos and everything. But I thank you all for watching up until this point, and make sure to go check out Ryder's video, or his second part of the movie. I don't know if he's actually doing a second part of the movie. If he is, then, or if not, then go watch his first part that he made, or his first movie that he made on the entire server. It covers a lot of the things I said in this part of the movie. But make sure to go give him some support and everything, since he did just release a video today. And I don't know, that's really all I gotta say. Thank you all for watching up until this point. Help me reach 1,000 subscribers before these two do, since they're stinky poo, and I don't like them very much. But we're almost at 200 subs, so hopefully we can get there by like the end of the month or so. That'd be a really big goal for me. And that's all I got. And I also want to say thank you to Ryder for all of the info he's given me and all the help he's given me with scripts, with editing, and just everything. He recommended me videos, and he's really just helped so much with the growth of my channel. So really go give him some support on everything, since his channel is slowly growing right now. But yeah, thank you all so much, and I will see you all in the next video I make. Peace.